So now that I have my phone and pen and the orientation I would like them to be in, I need to build a 3D printed part that's going to interface between them. So the first step is I'm going to hide the pen. This little eye here, next to anything, it lets you hide any object. So now I'm going to start building my thing. And I want to create this part in situation. So I'm working directly on inside here so I can reference this part. So I'm going to go to create part studio in context. Oh, first I have to give myself a make connector. I'm going to click on this surface. And I want to make sure that my make connector is on the actual surface. Yeah. So now I have that surface. I can now I now have a new make connector. I can now build my new part based on that make connector. That's going to be my origin effectively. So now I'm in a new part studio. Nope. Let's go. Top. Rotate myself around so I can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm going to start a new sketch on that top surface. And I'm going to start by drawing myself sort of the edge of the claw piece that I'm going to have on each part. So it's going to go up to, my piece is going to go and extend past here. Let's go here. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to print it upside down because it keeps flipping over. Okay, I'm going to click use, and I want to reference this edge here, and I want to be able to reference this edge here. I want to be able to reference this button here. I want to be able to reference this guy here, and this guy here, and this button here. All right, so now let's start building this thing. I'm going to start with a rectangle. That's going to be some thickness past the edge here. I'm going to have another finger that comes down here to grab the bottom of the case here. And I'm going to have a third finger that's over here to sort of grab the case. And I know these guys first. I'm going to go and set myself those all to be equal. So this is equal to this, and this is equal to this, and this is equal to this, and this is equal to this. And I think my material is going to be about 5/1000 of an inch thick. So I'm going to go, let's try again. So 0.05. And maybe 0.5 inches wide. 0.35 inches wide. That looks better. And I want to give myself some distance between here and here. So I'm going to go 0.35, 0.5, half an inch. Yeah, that's going to be flat space there. And this is going to be fairly low down. I'm going to give myself 1.5. And here, I kind of want this like halfway between these 2 points. So I don't want to interfere with either of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and draw a midline. So I'm going to use a construction. So that is the center of that object. And for some reason, right click's not, escape's not working. So I'm going to escape line. See, this line is tied to there. So now what I can do is I can say, pull the dimension from here to here and pull it straight. Okay. I'm going to do a little more clever how I do this. So escape dimension. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to draw a construction line here and here. I want to make sure these are escape line. I want to make sure this is a construction line. That means it's a line that doesn't actually exist. It's just helping me to reference things. And these lines are going to be tangent to their respective arcs. Control Z. So you are tangent to you, and you are tangent to you. Good. Now I can pull a dimension between these. I can't change this dimension, but it will let me, it'll give me some number. I'm going to copy that number. And then I'm going to dimension this to here to be Control V/2. So that is exactly halfway between two, which is not where I thought it would be, but that gives me a good but that's what happens to actually exist. So now I need to connect these three sections. So I'm going to start off by connecting the top of this to the top of this. And I'm going to start with a straight line that comes across here. No. Escape line. And I'm going to make another line that comes off of top of this guy. And I kind of want sort of an organic shape between these. So I'm going to put a pair of curves. I'm going to put one curve here that comes off from here. And I want to curve off of here. And I'm going to tangent these curves. So this curve is tangent to this line. This curve is tangent to this line. And this curve is tangent to this curve. Now if I escape out of that tool, which I have to do manually, I can sort of bring this line back and forth and play with these shapes. So now let's throw some dimensions in. Let's see what the dimension from here to here is. So this is some number. I'm going to copy that number, Control C. And now I'm going to dimension from here to here to be Control V/2. So that's exactly halfway between the two. I'm going to make this some value, so maybe 0.25. I'm going to make this some value, 1 inch. And this is going to be the top piece. Now we need to do the same thing and come down and catch this bottom line. So I'm going to grab another line, and I'm going to connect to this point. I'm going to come across. Escape that line. Same thing. And you catch the bottom of this clip. I'm going to escape that line. And I'm going to come up with a curve. Let's see if I can do two curves again. Let's actually use a tangent arc because that will save me a step. I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to grab another tangent arc off of this guy. And I think I'm going to need a line to connect those two. So I'm going to go and add some tangent constraints. I want this to come into this guy smooth. And I want this to come into this line smooth. That was good. And maybe I'm going to pull this dimension, find out whatever that is. I'm going to copy that dimension. And I'm going to put the same dimension over from here to here. Oh, escape dimension. Let's make this line vertical. And then dimension this line to this line to be Control V. That looks good. That looks good. So that's radius. Let's do 0.65. Let's do 0.65/2 just to give myself some consistency. And now we need to come in, over, and then down. So we're going to deal with a line here. We'll come in. Oh, escape line. Let's try that again. I'm going to draw a line here. Right click, escape the line. Of course, you could hit the escape key. I don't know why escape key is not working. I'm guessing it has to do with the screen recording software. So there's a problem. I'm going to draw a line just down here, make sure it's vertical. I'm going to escape this line, and then let's add some tangent curves. Same thing here. And in this case, I'm going to, of course, face everything tangent. So that's tangent to that, and that's tangent to that. And then I'm also going to set some things equal. I want this equal to this. Oh, I see I missed something. I'm going to delete this curve. I'm going to draw myself a new line. I'm going to escape that line, and then I'm going to put a tangent curve from here to here, and then I'm going to use the tangent to tangent to that. I'm going to get out of that thing. I'm going to pull this corner in to make that straight, and let's use our equals. I know I want this equal to this, and this equal to this. And let's give ourselves some dimension from here to the wall. So let's make some dimension. Let's do 0.125. That's an eighth of an inch. Okay. Now I still have to fix these guys. So I'm going to bring those corners inwards. I'm going to pick a value for this number. Let's do 0.05. Okay. So now I'm going to take and extrude this 0.05. And I want to undo that section. Yeah. And 0.05. At this point, I can go install it in assembly. I'm going to check. And I'm going to unhide the pen. And that looks kind of reasonable. Maybe this should come down farther. So let's go to the next step for, I'm gonna jump back into that part, and I'm gonna go into the sketch one, and let's make this 2.5 inches. Again, we'll go back to assembly. That looks much better. This is starting to look like a thing. So next video, we'll add the clips, and at that point, we'll do a test print. But this seems like a good step. Actually, what I would do from here is let's take right click and let's do a create a drawing from part one. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm then going to take and talk over the announcements. I'm gonna go here, and I want the orientation to be the top. And then I would take and print this actually on paper. That way I can cut this out and see how it fits on my phone. I'll do that in the next video. So we're going to take the sheet, and I'm going to take and make sure the sheet types. I'm going to go sheet properties. I want size A paper. And then I'm going to, I think, Control P to print. Lay on landscape. Huh. Alright. I guess I'm going to Control P and I'm going to print it. That's 1-to-1. Alright. I'm going to print it to a PDF, and then we'll take a look at it. And if that doesn't work, I'll do another video to show how to do that. So at this point, I'm going to take and print it out and cut it out on piece of paper.